was like wanting to get out there and live the brand and shit like that. Like this was one of the first shows that we talked about. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh shit, but then we knew we had scheduling conflicts. Oh, we're live, pal. We're live. How everybody doing? You know what I'm
What's up?
saying?
What's up?
Just a little you get a little something before a little something. You know what I'm saying?
A
So
little pregame, and
a little pregame. We talking
we're
about
talking
Black Girl
Black
Magic.
Girl Magic. Yeah,
You know the show that's happening in Brooklyn. You know what I mean? Shout out to the
August 19th.
come on. Shout out to the homies out there that's putting that show together.
For real.
It's gonna be amazing, and that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to make sure that we also show some love and support to the people outside of the big companies and whatnot. You know what I mean?
Outside
So
the mainstream, do some. You got to definitely support the indie, and especially when it's black women putting on and chasing their dreams and wrestling in the community. I love it. Wish I could be here. I wish I could be there, man.
wow,
But
whoa, we gonna get why you can't get in there, Mister Back to Africa, the episode 1. You know what I'm saying? We
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
get, we gonna get into why my guy is not gonna be at the show and shit. Why, frankly, I'm not gonna be at this show. You know what I mean? Not that I'm going to Africa, I wish, but shout
Don't
out to
worry,
my guy on this down out there. You know.
we will. We'll get there one day. You'll get there as well.
All right, man. We a couple seconds away from our scheduled time. You know what I mean? We back like we never left. 4:20. Uh, I'm letting y'all guys know right now. I got the little kiddos with me, so you know this will probably be one of the most noisiest podcasts that I will probably be a part of. But we're gonna make it do what it do, baby. Like my man Ray Charles says. So here we go in three, two, one. You know what I'm saying? What's happening? It's item most high. You know, I gotta hit them up the intro one good time. You know, last time we was on the joint, we didn't really have it, and I had to make shift, and that just wasn't what we wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? So let me go and hit it one time. All right. Now I kind of feel like the podcast. All right, we back. It's item most high. My tag team partner CT, aka Chitty Bang. What's happening, my
What's
brother?
good? What's good? It's your boy Chitty Bang, and we are the Underground Professional Wrestling Podcast. You didn't know, now you know. And we bring to you the week that was in professional wrestling. But first, if you don't know us, find us on RW Podcast One on Twitter. Find our takes on all that is wrestling over there. We also got content out there on Instagram. Regional Wrestling Podcast, content out on Facebook, Regional Wrestling Podcast. And if you're with us here on YouTube, thank you. Please subscribe. Please like, hit the bell icon, do all that. Please show some love for CJ2 in the background. He wants you to subscribe just as much, so that's why he's making shouting y'all out right now. But please, y'all be subscribing. Y'all be watching, but definitely subscribe and hit the bell icon so you know when we're on. But we are here 420 every Thursday. We do got a Patreon as well where you get some
Yep.
or reasonable or reasonable takes, uncut, unfiltered, unedited. It's $5 a month, where we kind of just shoot the shit on all things wrestling. Sometimes we talk Marvel, sometimes we talk sports, sometimes we talk politics. We talk all types of shit over there. So tune in and check us out over there. But today we're here to talk wrestling. This is our 420 Thursday episode. What number? What 151?
168. 168.
Back to Africa, and he mentioned a second ago. We will be going on a hiatus for about 3 weeks because your boy here is going back to Africa. I
Come
will be
on.
going to Nigeria for 3 weeks. Haven't been there in like 20 years, bro. But it'll be a time, just go back and check it out. And I'm doing some things for the family out there, and it should be a good time. So it's my summer vacay. But there's definitely gonna be a lot of work while we're out there. and definitely certain things going on with the family. So I'm going to be there to support certain events that are going down. But basically, that's why we will not be here next week or the following week or the following after that. But we'll be back in
And if
time
something
for.
happens, I just want to let y'all know if something happens, Dax Harwood, yo, God, I'll let them know. I'll let
Yeah,
them know. If
yeah.
something pop off that we need to be on, we will
He
be on. You
Dax
know
Harwood,
what
over here, you
I'm
know, Arn Anderson of the group is gonna be on here. Gully Blanche is gonna get in a hot tag back in on the 26th. But I believe that this will be a good time because right now we don't have a SummerSlam. SummerSlam already happened. We don't have a
saying?
big event until All Out or Clash at the Castle. Both are in September, I believe. So I'll be
Yep.
back in time to cover those events. And in the
Wrestling, hold
meantime,
on. Wrestling knew you was going back to Africa.
wrestling knew it. They knew.
Wrestling knew
They
you
said,
was
oh
going
man,
back to
Chitty Bang is gonna be gone for a little bit. We gotta push this forward, push this back, let my nigga get some space. They did it for me, and I appreciate that, guys. So basically, it's a perfect time for me to take this trip. Haven't been back there in a long time, so definitely I need to get back and see my people. So it's gonna happen. Anyways, we're here to talk the week that wasn't wrestling. Let's get into it. So a lot happened this week, as usual. We finally got Triple H running the show on Raw. We finally got and there's some stuff going on with Warner Brothers Media merging with Discovery. So obviously the NXT UK, we got NXT, we got AEW, we got SmackDown and Raw to talk about. So let's kick it off with the Warner merger, and let's see what you think your takes on this and how can this impact wrestling, because we all know that AEW is under Warner Media Group.
Come on.
They are on the Turner broadcast television channels of TBS and TNT, so they are included. And how would this affect AEW? So does this merger even affect AEW? In a sense, will it
Well,
affect it at all?
I would say yes and no. And the reason why I say that is because listen, Warner Media, as much as we know Warner Media to be the big conglomerate to give us a lot of what we consider as modern day television, like the staple of it, right? HBO and like turn big conglomerates buying shit consolidates the level of creativity, because once you consolidate something or you acquire something, there's no more competition,
Yeah.
right? There is
Now we're
less
working
job,
together.
right? There's less, right? The union gets a little bit tighter because those jobs then consolidate. Listen, I was in the military. My billet, when I went into the military in 2007 as an administrative clerk in the Marine Corps, there were two types. You had an administrative clerk, and you had a personnel clerk. You had an 0121. Yeah, you had an 0121 and an 0151. That was your MOS billet. Shit, in 4 years they merged that motherfucker. If you a clerk, you a clerk, right? So personnel clerks had to learn admin stuff. Admin stuff had to learn personnel clerks. Bro, we went to two different schools. We learned two different. We have two different billets. We are in two different jobs. But when they just said, "Hey, everybody's going to be an 0111," you're a clerk. Man, that did some shit to some people. Lap moves couldn't happen. Promotions got stalled out. People got out at a lower rank than they were supposed to. Like a lot of things changed for people. This on a scale of media, right? Nigga, Discovery Discovery bought Warner Media. Now Discovery is the parent company. Who the fuck watching Discovery, my nigga? Who got Discovery Plus?
I mean, Discovery is bigger than we think it is. I think Discovery, especially, we all know the Discovery Channel back in the day. If you didn't watch Discovery back in the day, then you probably weren't Animal fan, or I like Discovery Channel. I like Discovery Channel, me personally, but I think globally, Discovery Channel is a very big asset who makes a lot of money. Because they have, come on, there's animals all over the planet. It probably can be on any
But, but,
TV
but, but
channel in the world.
hold on, but that's my thing though. Like you're telling me, you're telling me, Discovery Channel, Animal Planet, Science Channel, and TLC, those four channels that were driving fucking Discovery, beat out Warner Brother. And this is what we talk about. Listen, you Apple TVs and the Amazon, and Netflix.
Women love TLC. Women love that shit.
But they lose. This is what I'm saying though. You lose money when you create content. Period. There is no company that can make content and make money unless they cheapen the product.
Wait a minute. What are you talking about? How do you? Okay, there wouldn't be content creation if you lose money making content. You make money. You do lose money creating the content, but once you sell that content to, or once you put ads on that content, you make money.
But not all things make money. Netflix couldn't make no money without ads, right? They just listen when they lost subscribers.
There was a subscription model, yeah.
When they lost subscribers, they stopped up with their whole 70%.
But back in the day, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, Netflix was number one. 7 years ago, it was just Netflix. They were the number one subscription service.
They also lost money. They lost money that whole time.
The whole time. I never heard that. I haven't heard that, so I can't speak on that.
And Netflix was not profitable, and that goes back to what I'm saying with Amazon, right? Amazon right now stays afloat because any money that they make, they just put back into the content creation business. So that's what I'm speaking on right now. Like Warner Media and Discovery. That merger now then puts Warner Media, HBO. We was asking like, yo, where is AEW going to go, right? Because we didn't know how their television contract worked. We didn't know what was going to be. Listen, the person that hired them, the person that signed them, the person that gave them, that had the vision for AEW is no longer there.
I mean, it's a merger. I mean? This is not like it's not like it's now going to be like TBS is turning into Discovery Channel. So here's what I'm trying to say.
Yes, that's what it is.
No,
that is exactly what's going to happen.
It's not. If it happens, I'm wrong. I'll be honest with you. If you think that TBS and TNT are not going to be around anymore, I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think that they are merging, and that organization, because you got to understand, in life, especially here in America, they act like there's no class system, but there is. You're either a laborer, you're either a business structure, which you create a structure to be a business owner, like we're trying to do. You create a structure with the business and become an owner of business, or you can be a person who buys assets and buys businesses, and then you're on top. You're on top. What they're doing is buying another asset as it is, as the structure it already is. And they're
laying off people right now.
You got to do that. Absolutely. You got to lay off people. That's going to happen. You got to lay off people. Certain plans are not going to be the same anymore. Absolutely. I don't think AEW is one of those things that's like, okay, now TNT and TBS are gone and we're getting rid of wrestling. That's not going to be the case.
Well, okay. We have the revisionist history that's what happened with WCW, the merger of AOL, of Time Warner. Those executives did not want wrestling on their television. They
looked at it as an asset to sell. Now, Discovery, I don't think that, first of all, Tony Khan owns AEW. It's on Warner Media, absolutely. But Tony Khan owns it. Unless he's going to sell it, it's not going to go nowhere. Unless they say, hey, you got to find some other channel, then he might find another channel for it. But AEW ain't going nowhere. It ain't. I think that when AOL bought, merged with Warner back in the day, they saw WCW as an asset they could sell to WWF, who was interested at the time, and bought it. So it was a thing where Turner was in charge. And Turner, when he merged with AOL, felt like, you know what? Let's get rid of this wrestling thing. I'm good with it. This is Tony Khan's asset. Turner owned WCW. Tony Khan owns AEW. And that's the difference to me between the two situations, in my opinion.
I was okay, but the distribution of wrestling is not the difference, right? If we're talking about a conglomerate in media, correct? Right? Now, what drives television right now is live content. live audience, live like sporting events and shit like that. Like, but when we talking about stuff that cannot be DVR'd and stuff like that, I don't think that we are remembering WCW being an asset being sold off by the merger, because we use merger very lightly. Like, shit is an acquisition. Like, we bought you. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, like, I think that needs to
It
be.
all depends on what's in the language of the merger, because I think what mergers happen is like, yeah, we have all these employees. We don't need like half of them or maybe a quarter of them because we're now using our assets together as a company. However, you know, who's in charge of the decision making going forward? If it's Discovery, they can say, all right, we got TNT now. What is our plan for TNT? They got TNT. What they can figure out what their plan is for TNT going forward. TNT's plan going forward is to have good programming. Like for instance, they're not going to say we're going to get rid of the NBA. So if it's profitable, if it has ratings, people are coming to our channel to watch it, and we can sell ads, we're going to keep it on TNT. Now, when it comes to AEW, same thing. If it's profitable, if we can sell ads, are people coming to the channel to watch it? How is it? How is it doing it across from our other, programs on TNT? That is going to be the tell of whether anything happens with AEW. And with that being said, AEW is not going nowhere because it's been successful. It's been more successful than they intended when it started. So to be honest, if anything were to change, it's going to be that, all right, how can we better, you know, patch this relationship with AEW so that things continue to move forward. So that's where Tony Khan is going to have to deal and navigate the waters with Warner Media and Discovery to see who he can communicate with to get the best out of his show. That's it.
I think that's a very pragmatic way to think about it. But like, we know how cold and callous business is, right? It's not necessarily really Discovery who bought or merged with Turner. It's AT&T, right? So we're just not like just that AT&T is the big dog with the money. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the multinational telecommunications company that has that's the holding company with all the money. You know what I'm saying? Now, what we're talking about is like, yes, you don't believe nothing's going to happen with AEW, and again, you're trying to say that layoffs is inevitable. Okay, that's what I'm trying to tell you. The person it's just like in sports, right? Adam Gase. Your guy got hired by a guy that wasn't really his guy. You know what I'm saying? Like he got hired by a guy that wasn't his guy who hired him. So now the guy that's in charge now, hey, you gotta go. You see what I'm saying? The direction of what we're doing.
Okay, so here's what I will say to you: if Discovery's thing is to rebrand TNT and change the direction of the channel altogether, then yes, AEW might be affected. But being that this is not a complete acquisition, that it's a merger, I look at it could be wrong because the language does matter. I look at it as we are now working alongside TNT and Warner to create the best channel going forward, and a portion of this, and we might have the majority stake in the company. Because at the end of the day, it's a media company that still will have to get programming from a third party. AEW is that third party. So if they're not putting AEW on their television, they're putting some other.
It's a media company that's willing to take a tax write-off on a $90 million movie that's already shot and produced, my nigga. Like, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, yeah, those media companies that we think wants to make content, you got content already there. We're cutting it. Right, like what Discovery is already about to fold HBO Max.
The point, what I'm saying,
premium streaming service over the pandemic.
But all those things are connected to Warner Media directly. They are owned by Warner Media. They're owned by AEW is a third party.
Right. I know. No, I know what you're saying though. The third party matters. You're trying to tell me how does this affect it? If the distributing company does not want your product, nigga, it affects it.
Now, what is the indication that you have any feeling that they not wouldn't want AEW? That's what I would ask. Is like, why would you
I
feel like
mean,
Discovery wouldn't
I
want
just
AEW?
told you they
Do they,
cutting
do they, do they want
shit
to cut
at
NBA?
HBO Max, my nigga. Like that's what you're not understanding. Like HBO Max is you're talking about. You don't have it, so you may not understand. Streaming services has the aspirations of making good content. HBO Max has been the centerpiece of making good content.
You know why they're
70%
cutting them?
of HBO Max is folding, my nigga.
But that has nothing to do with AEW to me. My thing is HBO
Okay.
Max folding is
Discovery
because
made that decision.
Exactly. I know they're not going to. HBO is connected to Turner and Warner Group. It is. So they're going to fold them. You know why? Because they got Discovery Plus. We're going to move all their shit from HBO. We're probably going to put it on Discovery Plus or create a new platform where we can have our Discovery and Warner stuff connected. It's just it doesn't make any business sense to have HBO Max at the moment. Does it make business sense to have AEW and NBA on their television TV screen? Absolutely.
Hold on. Why would you say it? Why would you say that? And we just talked about the legacy of what HBO is. You just said you telling me niggas don't
if you
know
have
HBO?
a different. You can't have two competing streaming services if you got Discovery Plus and HBO Max. And if Discovery's in charge, they're like, all right, we're getting rid of HBO Max.
Why can't you? Disney has Disney, HBO, Disney has ESPN, Disney Plus, and Hulu. All of those are operated under that one umbrella. Those are three streaming apps.
That's their strategy. And I think that ESPN obviously is a sports, they're trying to brand it as sports. They got Hulu, which is like just, TV. And then you have Disney, which is Disney products are different, so they chose to keep it separate. Now Discovery is they're not planning on doing that possibly. So, and that's where my mind went. And now honestly, I could be completely wrong, but I think I'm onto something here when it comes to like getting an asset and saying, how much does it cost to keep HBO Max run? Can Discovery eat that up? Like Disney can eat Hulu or Disney can ESPN? I don't think so. Discovery's not going to eat that up. They're going to create a new platform or combine it under one organization that already is running the content already. So they're going to say, all right, you guys get fired. We're going to use one group to run our streaming services. That's what I'm looking at.
But you don't like that in wrestling, though.
Wait,
you don't like that. You don't like that streamlined thought process in wrestling. Where
That's
like, hey, yeah, when okay, if WWE makes budget cuts, we don't like that, but it's a budget cut. It's to maximize profits for a business.
I think that budget cuts are fine when you're cutting the right people. Obviously, when you're cutting people like Keith Lee, I'm going to be upset. Yes, I have a problem with that because it affects directly to your bottom line as far as the product. It directly affects the product you're creating, which to me, I prioritize. That's what I'm talking about with like the cuts. I've seen cuts for years with WWE, and I don't go crazy about them every single time. But when it's certain people, I'm like, yo, that wasn't the right decision to make. And I'm telling you, obviously, with Triple H in charge right now, I'm right because he brought Dakota Kai back, and he possibly will bring other people back that got cut because he is seeing business different. So so when it comes to how I look at things, I think that I'm very pragmatic in how I look at it all. Like if you're cutting fucking some dude that I don't care about that hasn't really done nothing, then hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, but
that makes sense.
Those business decisions never fucking matter because those are the business decisions that everybody can. Yeah, I can throw a fucking penny on the ground, my nigga, because who needs a penny? But am I fucking tossing $20 bills out the window while I'm driving? That's a little bit of different decision. And what I'm telling you, my nigga, is that it's harder to throw $20 out the fucking window. When I know what you're saying about AEW being its own entity, but what I'm telling you is that what I would bring to you about the business and logic situation is that even though you're telling, I don't know what this. If Discovery is talking about, yeah, we're gonna fucking merge everything to Discovery Plus because we don't want nobody to fucking keep HBO Max. Hey, if you have a company that you just merged with and you didn't just buy and you're like, hey, I like what you're doing, I'm gonna help you do it. No, that's not what they did. They said, hey, I see an asset and I'm gonna cut that motherfucker and gut that motherfucker and show Impractical Jokers on True TV for the rest of time because, hey, why not? That's profitable. You know what I mean? Like it takes away from the creativity. And now this is what I'm asking in the AEW situation. with your distributor being someone that is okay with cutting good content away from them, do they value your content that you bring to them? Because they have already showed that they did not value the content that they just acquired. That's
Well,
what I'm
we gotta see what happens, because like just because HBO Max is not around doesn't mean that those shows won't be showing up somewhere else. And I guarantee you that they will. And I'm sure that Discovery will be a part of it, and that they're gonna get paid because of those shows. I just don't see them completely getting rid of everything they built up in the catalog with HBO. I think they're using it in a different way. I think they're gonna use it probably not the same way they used it before. So I can't speak because there's a lot of information that we don't know of why things are happening. Obviously,
I'm reading an article right now. I got an article that just came right now. It said, well, not right now. It's about it says that Warner Brothers Discovery film strategies for HBO Max is also to believe to be under scrutiny, with movies expected to get theatrical distribution before going into the streamers, going on the streamers going forward. They have discussed potential unifying monikers for consolidating, like you just said, and combining coastal and metropolitan appeal of HBO Max and Middle America pull of Discovery Plus. So, like you said, they have a vision of merging the two together. But this is where I have an issue with the content, and that's why I say I'm hesitant. They have proposed that they're trying to squeeze $3 billion out of what's left of the acquisition, meaning that, hey, I'm going to try to recoup $3 billion of things that I feel is not valuable. That's what I'm interpreting. So with that being said, you're saying that those shows will not go anywhere, but yeah, our new seasons of those shows going to be made. The vision of those shows going to stay the same? Is the creative path of those shows
that's
going to
probably up in the air right now. I'll be honest with you.
So when we talk about that, and again, that's you
but I
saying
don't
that
think AEW is part of that. I don't think AEW is going to be.
But if Discovery is saying that, hey, I'm wiping the slate clean, TBS and TNT, I'm giving a scope of what I see of television is, just like what Turner did 20 years ago. It took Turner 20 years to get wrestling back on TV, nigga. Wrestling's still been here 20 years, but it took somebody in position in that company to go ahead and take a chance on something. Hey, it's creative, it's something different, it's diverse, all those things, and niggas that got money is like, hey, did it make us something? You know what I mean? And this goes back to Tony Khan. Tony Khan's trying to prove that he can sell wrestling. So guess what? We have so many pictures that people complain about is because he has to prove that he can get commercials for wrestling. So the creativity or the viewing experience of the production matters because of the overlord of the distribution. So that's what I'm saying. Creative is always influenced by business. Always. It's always going to be influenced by business.
Creative is always influenced by business. All right.
Always.
That's a great transition to what Triple H is doing with Raw. And I hear you on that. And we'll see if that affects AEW moving forward. We'll see. Honestly, I'm not going to completely say that you're crazy, that we shouldn't be on alert. But my opinion is, I don't think we're going to see much of a change. But
Entertainment Illuminati, keep your third eye open.
If we do, then I will give you the credit for spotting, the changes a mile away. However, there is a lot of changes going on in WWE that I spotted a mile away, and a lot of changes that people, or I think that a lot of us thought could have changed if Vince was not holding the pen and somebody else was. Now, if you looked and saw Raw this week, it felt different, and obviously it's a different formula. And this is what I've been preaching on this pod for a long time. And I think that we know Triple H, is he good for business? I think he is. My problem with the narrative with certain people, including you, Chris, and some of the people
hold on. Let me give you your solo.
Oh God, no, I don't need a solo. I don't need a solo. My problem is the people who were like, eat shit and deal with it all this time. Oh, wrestling is not that bad. Oh, if you have a problem with wrestling, don't watch. Oh, it's hard to do television 52 weeks out of the year and write a story. And mind you, they were writing up scripts, ripping up scripts and doing it like, right before they go out there. That laziness approach to writing a show under Vince, it felt different off of 1 week of Triple H. Not even a week, one show, one day. We haven't even seen SmackDown yet. But people like Chris the Most High, whenever I have something negative to say, he's like, listen, hey, we only talk about things we like on this podcast. No. I talk about constructive criticism. And I've had constructive criticism for Vince's product for about 4 years on this podcast. And every time when I have some kind of constructive criticism, he's going to say, well, it is a story. It is a story, right? But is it a good story? Does it follow? Like we always say, make it make sense. Is there congruency? Is it aligned? Is there any synchronicity inside the show? And off of one show, Triple H brought synchronicity and flow to a wrestling show, which I said is not that hard. Every week, Chris will come here, put me on the spot. Okay, what would you have done different? And I'll in the middle of 10 minutes, in 5 minutes, I'll let him know. Okay, this would have been better if they did this. And I'm telling you, Chris, it wasn't that hard to change the formula of wrestling we've seen for the past 10, 15 years to see it a little bit different on the main roster. And it's like a lot of people were saying that just take shit and eat it, because Vince is in charge and you know what you're going to expect. But off of one show, Triple H was able to give some flow to a Raw show. And it's pretty much been, not that is like the most greatest show ever, but ratings already show that it's the best, most highest watched show since the first pandemic show with no fans. And ratings and people have been, praising it because it actually made sense. There was basically 4 storylines told throughout the night. It was Bayley's group in the women's division. You had the United States Championship. You had Edge and his guys, Edge and going after Judgment Day, and basically they had the Seth Rollins promo was about Matt Riddle and everything, and then Street Profits. So I believe that condensing of the show to very specific task and goals made for a show that was easy to watch, man. And I'm like, if they could have done this a long time ago, maybe people weren't telling us to just take whatever was given to us because it wasn't that hard, clearly.
Well, I would say this, man. I don't want to get too caught up in the fucking hype of, Triple H, because let me give my man the solo. Is the game good for business? Da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da.
No, it's just the game is good for business. He is. It's just fact.
That's listen, Triple H has been a part of some storylines that he had creative control over that we don't like. So niggas don't bat 1,000 is my point. So when we would dig and get at Vince and dig at Vince and he is the modern day king of sports entertainment. Give my nigga, Vince can fix shit. I'm not finna be the one. I've been, like you say, watching wrestling 30 years. For 30 years, Vince has pulled my ass to a goddamn TV. He's been the sole proprietor of how shit go. Now, if you want to say for the past 5-6 years, I get you. But to Vince's credit, Vince isn't as stubborn as we think, because the changes that have been made over the time, who has made them? Who made Roman go heel? Who allows Sasha, Becky, Bianca to kind of get to be the mainstays of wrestling, right? Who gave Triple H the fucking freedom to run NXT and do what he did? We gotta be honest with ourselves, my nigga. Vince ain't the fucking, I call that nigga the devil, but it's an angel and the devil for a reason. That nigga impactful for something. He there for a reason.
We've already gave him Vince's flowers last week. This week, I'm here to give Triple H's flowers because listen, what Paul brings to the show is a with the same people. Yo, Vince made me feel like AJ Styles wasn't one of the best wrestlers in the world. One day we get AJ Styles back to being AJ Styles, and I'm like, damn, yo, this guy's nasty. This guy's good. Like I believe that. Well, don't roll your eyes. It's fucking truth. You got to understand something. Over the past month,
you telling me
you can see the priorities.
Triple threat match and one match with Tommaso Ciampa and AJ Styles is like, that's it. Like he hasn't been fucking AJ Styles since then.
My point is this: the freedom to be AJ Styles matters. The freedom to go out and have a Michael Cole say what the fuck he wants to say. The freedom to have the Street Profits come out there and mention, hey, Seth Rollins, yo, we beat you for the Raw Tag Team titles. Vince would not let any of that shit fly in the past, which, he wouldn't. He wouldn't let those things fly. There's certain things you can and cannot do when you're out there.
Like niggas went out there and said belt and I'm a professional. You telling me Vince won't let a nigga say I beat you before?
Have you seen it? Have you seen people come out there and mention something that hasn't happened recently? No, that they beat him for the Raw Tag Team titles a year or two ago. That's the kind of stuff that I saw was it was very telling to me. It stuck out for me. Michael Cole referencing things that happened in the past to the storyline that make it relevant. And that freedom. Even the people backstage are saying, they're excited because they feel like they have more freedom when they're in the ring. They're calling more things in the ring than having them tell you, hey, hit this spot, then hit this spot, then hit this spot. They're having freedom to call things in the ring. Both of those triple threat matches felt different. Even Dolph Ziggler looked better.
It's hard for me to hear you say you don't know that for sure with Discover and Warner, and then for one show you know for certain that like niggas got motherfucking butterflies and shit and it's free flowing.
I mean, I'm going based off of what I've read that from actual people, and also I saw an interview with Natalya. I saw an interview with Liv Morgan on her what they believed, like their excitement for the women's division going forward. That's what I'm talking about. This is out of the horse's mouth kind of stuff, and things I've seen online. Dakota Kai saying, we know how to play the game. That's a shout out to Triple H for bringing her back. There's certain things that they're saying on air that makes me feel like, yeah, they feel like this is a different era too, and they're going to be able to go out there and tell different stories in different ways. And there was a stark difference in this show than anything I saw this year. So I'm not saying it's the best show ever of Raw, but the flow was immaculate.
I'm just going to be honest, man. Like, it's going to be a different team when Bill Belichick retires. It's going to be a different team when Greg Popovich retires. No matter what young gun or new up and coming, like, yeah, the regime's going to be fucking different when the guy that's been running for 30 years isn't there. Like, I'm not going to point the obvious. Like, yes, it is great to have a new head coach on the fucking set calling the plays, my nigga. But what I'm telling you is that Triple H is going to have to capitulate. Like, I don't know why we don't act like that's not gonna fucking happen.
All right, and then when that happens, I'm gonna call him out for the bad business decisions he makes because at the end of the day, he's able to tell the stories in the ring in a way that I, at least personally, I like better than what Vince was doing, and hopefully he doesn't give me something that's completely selling out to a business idea or a business venture they're trying to approach, and we'll see that going forward. I'm going to give it time, but you got to give credit because that was a better show than we've seen in a long time.
I want to give credit to okay, Io Shirai and Bianca Belair is not the first time we saw them wrestle, so it's the first time we saw them wrestle. Look, hold on, you want to say?
I'm not saying nothing.
No, you want me to be like, oh, because you just said it when we had Rich on. You was like, it's already Vince versus Triple. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that because I already know that the era of wrestling, the era of terror, right? The era of terrorizing, right? I know that that should be the name of the podcast. The era of terrorizing.
Yeah,
listen,
like it.
I know that the era of terror is only there because it's allowed. It's only there because it's allowed. Listen, the collaborative nature that is going to be considered a change of pace is ultimately still going to be determined of how those performers perform. Absolutely. Not necessarily so much how the shit is given or the right no matter what the morale is in the military is, nigga, you got to carry out that mission. You dig?
Do you rather the United States Championship being shown the way it was and given the importance it was, or Veer Mahan having a squash match? And that's the kind of things that I'm trying to say. Yes, it depends on the talent and what they do in the ring, but Triple H has a better eye for what talent needs to be out there. I honestly believe that.
And okay,
and how they should be presented.
Okay, listen, I am not going to argue that point because, again, there is a difference between a Bill Belichick 75, Greg Popovich 72, 73, and the young coach that's like 40 years old. Yeah, nigga, I can adapt a little bit differently. But what I am going to say is that, like, I am not going to act like Vince didn't see Brock Lesnar. I'm not going to act like Vince didn't see John Cena. I'm not going to act like Vince didn't see, but that OVO, I'm OVO, like I'm fucking Drake. That OVW 2002 class might be the greatest and listen, Vince may not have went and scouted every single one. I'm not giving him that credit, but Vince did give all four of those niggas a chance to be the guy, and all four of those guys have been the guy for 20 years. So listen, in between those little chops and cuts and stuff like that, we talk about cornerstones of wrestling. Those four cornerstones still draw money for Vince to this day. I apologize that he falls back on Tom Brady. I didn't think Tom Brady can throw 40 touchdowns at 37 either. But guess what? He can. And so can Randy. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like Randy, John, Brock, Batista, all those guys, you do fall on those guys because those are your guys. I'm not going to. But then listen, he saw Roman.
I'm never complaining about seeing those guys.
Roman is my guy through thick and thin, through whatever is going to be. Roman's my guy. And look, it's a 2-year run for Roman. Do we give a fuck? Do we give Vince that credit? No, we give it to Roman because Roman has to be the performer. And that goes back to my thing. If a performer can't go out there and make you believe, it can't be on Vince, it can't be on Trips, it can't be on Paul Heyman, it can't be on Vince Russo, it can't be on Eric Bischoff. It's on your ass.
Do you think
Mr. Cesaro? Let's see how you motherfucking be as champion, nigga.
Word
Mr.
up.
Charisma.
Exactly. But I've not been the guy, tooting the horn for Cesaro, so I'm with you on that. But when it comes to AJ Styles being in tag teams for the last 2 years, that's a problem to me. When you can go out there and put that triple threat match on, or go on that and put that match with Tommaso Ciampa on, and I think that's what I'm getting at. And then having the match have stakes for a purpose, for a reason, and tell a story, setting up the following show next week. That's stuff that I've been waiting for on the main roster for a minute. That's not just having the same match over and over again, and with some kind of random antic.
I'm not going to tell you how. I'm not going to tell you how to feel. I can completely understand that the feeling or the anticipation of wrestling seems to be back. So I'm not going to say that that's not. I'm not going to say that that's not a plausible feeling to have, but to feel as if like
we talk production, and. I think that production will continue to improve, but the condensing of the show, so there's not like much filler of like a 24/7, match that no one cares about, or a Veer match that no one cares about. That felt refreshing to me. And I'm not saying this, not hating the 24/7 championship or Veer Mahan. I think that they have a time and place for it. But this match, from beginning to end, beat for beat, even the promos were all good. Everything was good. So we'll see going forward how it is. But today, as I stand here right now, I want to tip my cap to Paul Levesque because so far so good. The game, it has been good for business, and I'm just giving him his props. And everybody else behind the scenes who are helping him put this together as well.
I would, and that's what I want not to fall short on. Listen, Paul is great. Paul is good for business. We got Paul Heyman. We got Stephanie McMahon. We got we got the talent themselves that has ideas for themselves that they can bring forth to the like now. And also, Paul isn't the fucking guy now. I mean, yes, he's head of creative, but like, he's not CEO. He's not COO. He's not. He doesn't give the fucking okay of things that goes on television.
We're talking about creative right now. We're talking about Raw. We're talking about the show. We're talking about what he actually did this week. And I get he's not CEO. We'll see how that business goes on forward.
I'm also saying like this ain't all him either, my nigga. I'm telling you that it's a collaborative effort. I
just gave props to him as well as a team. I hear you, bro, and I know it's not just him, but we all know who's in the forefront of what the changes are right now. He's the reason why there's an Io Shirai Bailey Dakota Kai group right now. He's probably the sole reason why he brought, So at the end of the day,
what makes sense. Okay, I don't want to kill it. I don't want to kill it. Why is the group together? Why is the group together? What's the name of the group?
They said that they're. We'll see going forward, but they said they're there to control the women's division. They literally just said that this week. They want.
I know what they said, Chidi. I'm saying like
that's why. What do you want me to do? Like that's what they said. Like
I know, but if hold on. This is what I want to get to. If Vince gave you this, you will be asking the same questions. But because Paul gave it to you, all right, we get like that's what I'm saying.
If Vince gave this show to me, I would have been happy with it.
If Vince gave you, hold on, no, not the show. Just listen to me. If Vince gave you a Bailey, Io, and Dakota Kai out of nowhere, no group, no direction, no narrative to it, and they just say, hey, we're here to control, you be like, control what? Nigga, ain't no tag team division, ain't no motherfucker, like, are you going after the championship? Like, what is this retribution? Like, what are they controlling right now?
Listen, I'm gonna be real with you, man. I honestly, if Vince brought them back as a group, I would have been shocked and impressed. Because these are all three women that can go in the ring, all three women that I want to see wrestle on the main roster that I thought that Vince might not even give a shot. Honestly, Vince has a certain type. These are not the girls that he would put in that position. Having them debut
champion on the main roster. Money in the Bank, Raw, SmackDown. Like you act like he didn't treat Bailey with the level of respect that she deserved when she was on the main roster.
No, not Bailey. I'm talking about the other two women. I'm talking about them in particular. I think that Vince was in charge. He probably would have Bailey come out by herself and challenge Sasha. That's probably what. But this group, and then how they position them throughout the show. Because I was waiting after SummerSlam. Granted, I was like, all right, cool. I think this is what they need. I wanted a woman. I told you, I wanted a woman heel stable. I thought Charlotte should lead one, but this is what they gave me. I said this to you weeks ago, or maybe even a month ago. So I'm fine with this. So if Vince gave that to me, truth be told, I would have been fine with it. Then even after SummerSlam, I was like, all right, let's see where they go with it. On Raw, multiple spots throughout the night, these women were showcased. Io and Bianca had a great match. They jumped, Asuka and Alexa Bliss. That kind of impact, and then obviously their promo backstage, jumping Becky Lynch, putting her out. That's the kind of stuff how you put an angle together and show that this group is a serious threat in the division. Bianca just wiped out the whole women's division, and then you bring this new threat with Bailey, Io Sky, and Dakota Kai. I think that this could honestly bring more eyes to television and have people say, okay, I can't see what this group does next. Especially with Bianca being champion for, in the main event for well over a year now, she needs new threats. And this makes sense. If Vince gave this to me, I'm not saying this just because Triple H gave it, because mind you, I've been upset with Trips in the past. You're the Trips guy. You're the Triple H fan. He was your favorite wrestler.
I am. Exactly.
I'm not the guy who's just gonna give Triple H credit just for no reason. This makes sense to me. This is something that's pushing us forward. And we'll see how SmackDown goes. So I'm still on the fence with Drew and what's going on with that, and Roman. If they can make me interested in that, let's see how they go.
Why are you on the fence with Drew and Roman, man?
I mean, the match will be good, but we all saw how angles were done with Brock and Roman. I don't like how they built to their matches. The matches could be great, but their build, I'm more curious about with Drew and Roman. The match is going to be fine.
I mean, we know what the build is going to be.
Oh my God. You know what I mean? Week to week, not just that he just won a match with Sheamus. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying you know what the build's gonna be. Last year's Survivor Series, he beat his ass. He's redemption. Like that's the fucking story. Like it doesn't have to be. It's not. We don't have. But it's not that much nuance in wrestling stories.
There is nuance to this. That's where we disagree. I think there's nuance in how you tell a story, what promos you do, what angle, what makes this match, important, and how you speak on the mic with it. Now, me and you can say and put that in our own mind as if we know what the story is. Granted, we do, but I'm talking about for the general audience, how we take this and escalate this feud to make it a prominent feud for Roman and a prominent feud for Drew going forward. We might, in our own mind, like, okay, all I need is the match. But I feel like how you tell it from a week-to-week basis, whether it be promo, backstage angles, matches, that matters to how you get there, in my opinion.
But I don't want to get stuck here, but like, isn't that the whole thing of wrestling, right? Like, how we get to places, like, you're not gonna like the way that Brock and Roman got to it, but that's the same. We have a month, just like with Brock and Roman, right? We have a month. It's not really much that you can do in a month. You can't have a lot of non-title match. I mean, the factor of Drew main eventing a card in Wales and UK, and like that makes him important. Him wanting to get back at Roman, be an honorable champion, yada yada yada. Like I'm saying this because, like, yeah, as we write the script, it still has to be performed well, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It still has to be performed well, where it can get lazy for a month. Drew and Roman themselves can look at it and be like, man, we got a month, dog. You know what I'm saying?
Like, I want to see what they do. I want to see what happens, and that's all I'm saying. I do count on them to have a good match. I do count on the match to matter, but this is like, and that's why I think I should be a wrestling writer, because I do see it like segment by segment things. Like my brain just works that way, where I'm like, all right, how did they get here last time? What happened last time? How can we play off the storyline last time for this one? And if the booking of it, obviously the booking of it is, he gets his redemption against Roman after losing to him last year at Survivor Series. That's cool and all. That's booking to me. Booking is, what match can we put together, and where can we put it, and how? Drew in Wales, that makes sense. That's all booking to me. As for storytelling, I'm curious to see if there's any differences in how they go about Drew and Roman versus Brock and Roman. What's up, Dustin? How you doing, man? So that's all I'm saying. Storytelling wise, I believe there's a lot of potential, put it that way. And I think that with Triple H in charge right now, what I saw so far with the U.S. Championship, what I saw so far with the women's division on Raw, it has a lot of eyes on it now. So I believe that it's going well.
I would like to say this, based on what it is that we saw with the first
what kind
night.
Of twist?
What kind of twist? Go ahead, right? What kind of twist we can throw up there? But I will say this, man. Like, I'm not finna. I don't want to, again, like I say, shit on a pause. Rise to prominence. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got Ciampa beats Lashley, Roman beats Drew, Lashley beats Roman for the title, Theory cashes in. Wow.
Now, are you booking this out to Survivor Series? Because you need some time for this.
Wow.
Yeah, but
that's huge right there, bruh.
I don't think Ciampa's beating Lashley.
No, Ciampa's beating Lashley.
Word.
Ciampa's beating Lashley. Yeah.
Ciampa's doing great, by the way.
Ciampa's definitely beating Lashley.
I just don't see him beating Lashley. I just don't see Lashley right now. Seems like he's ready to take this championship and hold it for a minute.
But this is what I'm saying. Champion. If you want to talk about storytelling, right? Bobby and Drew had a hell of a series for that motherfucking WWE title that Vince gave us. That happened on a pandemic. That the story really couldn't really hit well because we were in a pandemic. But this is what I'm saying.
I think there's so many excuses we give Vince, but I'm like, in one day, if he makes a good show, like, go ahead. Let me let you finish first. Go ahead.
No, I don't know. Let's do this because this is this is us being on the phone,
All right, bet.
interrupting each other. So what would you say to that? Like, this is what I'm saying.
No,
Like,
I mean, that's like, I think you make a lot of excuses for Vince's way of approaching wrestling, and I think that it worked for a time. Do I think that he gotten old and out of touch for sometimes? Yeah, Drew and Roman could have been so much better. The build to
Drew
WrestleMania
and
made
Bobby, Drew and
Bobby,
Bobby.
exactly. Drew and Bobby, the build to WrestleMania could have been so much better. He beat the Miz for the championship. Next thing you know, like I think Drew was gone for like a week, and then he pops up one week and is like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be the champion. I'm gonna be facing Bobby for WrestleMania." Like, it was like no match, no elimination chamber. It just was, this was accepted, you know. And usually towards WrestleMania, they could have put something together that gave you some purpose in this match and built the angle so that you could put it in the package and everybody like, okay, there's a story behind this. And that's what I'm getting at with the intention that Paul gives things, you know. And I'm not shitting on Vince as like a whole. Like, I know he has so much brilliance in how he's created this great thing called WWE, WWF, whatever you want to call it. But this match, I mean, this show that we just saw on Raw, it felt different, and it wasn't that simple. It wasn't that complicated to come up with how to get these angles to pop.
But I would say this, okay, and this is not me making an excuse for Vince, but I know people talk about the mythology of what Vince did, right? He took a little small barnyard thing and took it to a global. No, wrestling was selling 16,000, 20,000, but it was regional. You know what I'm saying? It was regional. And a lot of people do not want to give Vince the credit of taking something regional and making it national. Look at your college football team, my nigga. It's regional until that national money come along and say, yeah, fuck the Big 12, fuck the Pac-10, fuck all that. We're going to go to the SC. Like, wherever the money is, that's where we're going. Because that regional shit does not matter anymore. Now, I do want to say this, though. Vince caused and created a monopoly that we are seeing right now in media that is not well for business or the business of, right? Jim Crockett Promotions, Big South, they come together and say, hey, we're going to grow the business of wrestling. Vince said, no, we're going to grow the business of me. You know what I'm saying? That is the model of what WWE has inherited. So we talk about Paul's vision. Paul's vision is only in compliance of what Stephanie and Nick Khan's vision is.
Okay, yeah. When I talk about Paul, I'm talking about creative mostly.
Yeah,
and
that's what I'm
as
saying.
far as
creative, how a show is presented, how it's seen, how it's produced, how much money goes into it, how much budget we spend on bringing a motherfucker back. All that shit got to be coming towards. I got to bring that to somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, Paul ain't just saying.
But when you're in bed with the CEO, come on.
Yeah, I mean, but sometimes you get lazy dick and it don't happen, you know?
It's like, lazy dick is like, you know what? Dakota Kai is fired. You know, Dakota Kai the dick wasn't good enough tonight. Sorry.
So you know, Paul probably got the word that he's head writer and laid that shit down, nigga. We'll see what happens in 2 months, nigga.
Man, you know, he might as well be CEO shit, you know, like, come on.
Nigga,
all you gotta do is lay it down a couple of times and get what you want.
Nigga, he fuck around and Mr. Blue Chew, nigga. We might get the same Raw, nigga.
Oh Lord.
Speaking of Blue Chew, hey, sponsors, man, we're here. We can still add in that motherfucker somewhere.
But yeah, you know, I hear you. The CEO situation, you gotta run it by somebody. But he's also in bed with the CEO. So
yeah, honestly, and one time down too before we get off of WWE and go straight to AEW, because I do believe WWE is on the precipice of something, right? I do believe the ascension of what's happening. Listen, again, like you say, I'm the Levesque guy. Triple H is my favorite wrestler of all time, right? Like, I do love. I try to mix in everything as wrestling, right? I didn't know what cerebral meant until Cerebral Assassin was 2002, 2003. So again, we're talking about 20 years ago. I'm 12, 13, 14, establishing myself, trying to incarnate myself in life And here I am learning the word cerebral. And that stuck with me 20 years later of being cerebral. I don't necessarily need to be an assassin, but again, I was trained to be. You know what I mean? Yeah. The military taught a nigga to be cerebral and an assassin. You know what I mean?
Yeah, word up. You can do the assassin with the pen though.
But that's what I like about Triple H. I do value his mind, right? I do value of how he operates. I do understand and also he never lied. He always said again, he told CM Punk, like, look, nigga, I told you I was gonna cut a throat and came to you with the knife in front of you, not behind you. I didn't sneak. Nah, nigga, I said I was coming from the jugular, and I am that. So I always appreciated someone of that ilk, of that honesty, right? Yeah. But I do want him to be honest with himself. You can fall victim no matter how creative you want to be to business. And I don't want to give Paul an out of that when that is always going to be the case. That is the thing.
Well, we do know that
it's always going to be the case.
All right. And I'm curious to see how things go. We'll leave it there because there's a lot that could play out in a month or two or 6 months from now. We got WrestleMania. Tickets are going on sale for WrestleMania next week. So yeah, at this point, we'll see if that translates to WrestleMania. And I do believe off of the first little bit of showing we see from Triple H, I think it's going to be a hell of a WrestleMania Hollywood this year. But that's honestly, that is being a little bit hyperbolic, I'll be honest, and that's a little bit preemptive, So I'm going to wait. Like I said, we'll get to the Royal Rumble. We'll see how the build is going, and then we can talk then. But we will be there no matter what.
Somehow, some way, we're going to be in Hollywood, my nigga.
We're going to be
I'm
there.
going to be with the motherfucking kids. Best believe you me.
Word up.
Now, I do want to say before we move forward, we did not see a huge change in NXT, knowing that Triple H is there. But I do want to highlight that nigga Carmelo Hayes. He got to be top 3 of the world this first 8 months of the year, my nigga. Carmelo Hayes is.
I don't think he gets enough love. Honestly, I don't think he gets enough love that from his consistency. He took some time for me to grow on because he was good, but I'm like, all right, is he great? And over time, I'm saying like, all right, he's getting there. He's getting there. So I believe that Carmelo, he's just getting started, and I think that the more and more we see him, he grows every single time as far as his presence and how he can puts together his matches, everything. He's a good heel, man. He's a good heel.
Shit, nigga, yeah, babyface. What you talking about, nigga? Carmelo, the biggest babyface in Full Sail. Or it's not Full Sail, the CWC now. You know what I mean?
Oh man, but yeah, he's a heel. He's a heel, man.
Yeah,
so I know a heel when I see one.
Damn it! A throwback.
Motherfucker. Yo, Jim Cornette is fucking. He's
yo, shout out to niggas that don't fuck with corny, because I don't really fuck with corny either, but that nigga produce content like a motherfucker.
He does, though. He's funny as hell. His voice is so high pitched and shit, man. Like, it's just the way he talks is funny. Like, Tony Khan gave him props, like, oh, sometimes I'll listen to Jim Cornette because he's done it longer than me. He said, oh, now he's blaming me. Like, he doesn't give a fuck if you give him props. He's gonna roast you. He doesn't. You can't play nice with Jim Cornette.
No. What's nice with corny? You know what I'm saying? Nothing.
You try to give him some roses. He's like, no, I don't want that shit.
No need. Now, NXT, like we said, we brought up Carmelo. Also, we want to bring up the new NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. You brought it up. You spoke it into existence last. What was it? Sunday we had the pod.
I've been saying this for a while. I wanted to listen. They lost to Io and what's her name?
Was it Starks?
Starks, yeah. They lost to Io and Starks. They lost to, Candice LeRae and them. They lost to
Candice LeRae and them boys.
Yeah, they lost. and them boys, they lost to Toxic Attraction. They've been losing a lot of championship matches. So, the consistency of keeping this tag team together, it shows that hey, women's tag division is not it's not dead. So I wanted to just shine a light on these women. They deserve it. They earned it. I've been watching them from when they were in Full Sail. Just get in the ring and just in dark matches, and then get in the ring on TV and just their grind, this consistent grind they've had for about 3 years. I think they've earned this tag division championship, and I'm curious to see where it goes because they are genuinely a real tag team. I see them as a real tag team, not like a makeshift put two girls together, see what they can do with this thing. No, they've been working together for a long time. They have a moveset together. They have their own chemistry, and they grinded to get here. So they earned it. And shout out to Kaden Carter, and I think they call her now Katana Chance.
Katana.
Casey's now Katana Chance. They keep changing names,
Straight
but
from Mexico, call it Katana.
word up, So
Yes, she from my dough.
Katana Chance. But I'm curious to see where they go with this. So women's tag division is not dead yet. We might get Naomi and Sasha back. Who knows? Like there's a lot of rumors going around about that. But at least in NXT, we have this pipeline that in the future they could be on the main roster and still have some tag teams, or maybe not. We'll see.
Yeah, I think this is a really great showing for them and for the tag the tag division in general. Like you say, it allows people to I guess in a sense, like you say, it allows people to understand that they are valued, right? Like the things that they do does not go unnoticed, as you would say, right? So with that being said, it was great.
Took a while though.
It did. Again, but I again, you want to talk about tag teams that matter, right? We talk about tag teams that garner some type of elicit some type of real type of emotion, right? We as not friends watchers cared about this tag team and also cared to see if them reaching the plateau was going to be something. Listen, Enzo and Cass didn't do it, right? Who else didn't really reach those heights? Right? We see a lot of those tag teams that don't really get a chance to.
Ascension, did they ever win it?
Yeah, Ascension did win it. Yes, they did. They did. I think they.
Oh,
did.
the NXT women's, the NXT championship, they did. NXT championship, they did it. But the main roster, I don't think they really.
Correct.
They were
correct.
complete trash on the main roster.
Yeah, exactly. So with that being said, then again, you literally it was in a clip we put up on YouTube. When we was talking about the tag team division, you said that you think that this tag team in particular for the past 2 years have been a significant staple in what a tag team can be or can be viewed as.
Homegrown tag team, man.
Come on, man.
Honestly, homegrown tag teams. You keep two people together. They're on the road together. They are through, like they said in their interview, through ups and downs. They've been together through it all. And this culmination is like, they actually were able to pull it off and get some gold. This is the first gold for both of these women. And like I said, like I remember seeing them in Full Sail. Like think about that. They don't have that anymore. They don't operate out of Full Sail anymore, and this means something. And it keeps the NXT women's tag division moving forward.
Yep.
I know there's been a lot of turnover with the championship lately, but these girls should hold it for a while. I think that they can have a great feud with Toxic Attraction. I know they got a few other tag teams coming up, and with the women out there, and I think that this could be something I tune in for, so we'll see.
Shout out to them again. We wanted to shout out and give highlight to NXT that. Listen, Creed brothers, them boys. All right, I know that. Man, I know. I say I want to see the Creeds and the Usos, but let me see Creeds and the Briscoes. I just like the battle of them boys, my nigga. Because I think them boys is the Creed. The Creed is them boys 2.0, my nigga. Dead ass. Like they really get after it. I love their promo game. I love the in-ring stuff. And again, they brothers. You know what I'm saying? Like they
Real tag team, yeah.
real tag team shit that you can't fucking make up. You know what I'm saying? We grew up in that. We grew up in that house together. We grew up fighting together. We grew up, battling and scrapping, getting to this point together. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to the Creeds. I just always and Santos. That boy is money. He looked, as the bitches would say, fine. You know what I'm saying? That nigga Santos is main rock material,
he
man.
returned. He returned, right?
Yeah.
And honestly, the CWC, like, they popped. Like, so, like, I've been telling you for a while, him and Braun Breaker was the match for NXT, in Dallas, but they didn't go that route. But this guy has star potential, man. Like, he's real deal. So I'm curious to see when he does call up, gets called up.
That Latino heat, man. He we talk about 2.0 stuff, man. I think that he really got the ability. He got the Latin clearly.
Crossover appeal, yeah.
That's what I was just about to say. He got the Latin clearly the background. And listen, Ray can speak great English. Andrade can't really speak good English, but I don't think his English is as good as Santos. And Santos can cut.
Santos is American, like Santos. Andrade is a Mexican speaking English, but Santos is just an American.
Yeah, Santos' the nigga name is Juan, but he call himself John on the job. You know what I'm saying? Like that ass.
Word up, man. Word up. Yeah.
Oh man. So as we dabbled a little bit at AEW, talked about their business, man. But let's talk about the creative, right? First things first. You want to do UE or you want to do Book and Black? Where you want to go?
What's UE?
Undisputed Elite.
What do you think?
Well, let's get the white boys out the way. Let's spend some time with the niggas. Let's get the white boys out the way. All right, so the white boys. Okay, so
okay, this guy is crazy. So the Undisputed Elite, AEW broke up. I thought it was fitting. I thought it was time. I think that I just don't know where they're gonna go with the whole thing because I thought Hangman Page came in for the save, but we all knew that Adam Cole was gonna turn the Young Bucks eventually. I think that they're the ones who even kicked him out of the Bullet Club. So
they actually did kick him out the Bullet Club, my nigga. They kicked him out for motherfucking rapist Marty Scurll. I apologize.
Oh Lord. Yeah, where were I forgot Marty Scurll.
I burnt my Bullet Club shirt. I have no idea what that nigga at, bro. I took a picture of that nigga, everything. I don't know what happened. I don't know.
Take it away. Oh shit, man.
Bruh,
but I thought that this was probably one of the bigger moments of the night. Setting up for the Trios Championship at All Out. I don't know who's gonna be involved in it. I hope that Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly can get better by then so they can actually be in the match. I think that would be great. Having Undisputed Era versus the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega or Hangman Page, depending on who they want to tag with. But yeah, I think
it'll be the Hung Bucks. The Hung Bucks is making a return.
Okay, Hung Bucks. All right.
You never
pause.
Hold on. You never heard of that trio of the Hung Bucks?
I didn't want to remember.
Hold on, that was one of the greatest days in wrestling history, my nigga. What are you talking about? Introducing the Hung Bucks.
That's funny, man. That's funny.
Man. The injury bug is killing AEW right now. We talk about storylines and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Creativity, creatively, right? The decision making that they can have the ability to make, right? I believe some of that stuff is a little bit. Listen, if Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly can't go, we know some niggas who can go. We know some niggas who would like to hold a trios championship who
They
has
don't.
held
They're not signed,
championship.
man.
So sign them, nigga. Like, what's the deal? Like, I don't know what
What
the
a
deal is.
week before All Out, they've already written what they're gonna do for All Out. They already know.
You can't write health, motherfucker. Like if if Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly can't go, you can't write them. You can't write them niggas healthy. You know what I mean? Like yeah. I think that if all out is in September, right? Let me check. Let me check real quick.
Yeah, it's in September.
All Out 2022. When is the date? September
Sunday,
4th.
September 4th.
Holy fuck. We got Battle at the Castle on the 3rd. And we got All Out on the 4th.
Damn, we got a big show on. I mean, is that my return show? Let me see.
No, that's after. That's literally a week after, bro.
Week after, okay.
That's literally a week after. Now, hold on. Let me let you know what the mother effing schedule is for the NFL. Because what I'm trying to tell you is that, yeah. September is really busy, brother. Just want to get you prepared, my nigga. Cool. We might have to do some football podcasts too, nigga.
August 4th, kick off.
You said August 4th?
Yeah.
So that's no, I'm sorry. I'm looking at right now. Thursday Night Football, September 8th. Thursday Night Football, Rams, Bills, first game. Thursday night, September 8th. So,
okay.
They are getting, like I was telling you, niggas is getting as much shit in as they can right now to set themselves up for the fall. You know what I mean? So I think right now, we literally got 30 days out. We're a month out. If their show is for September 4th, yeah, Tony Khan, call Shane Taylor Promotions, dog. Make that happen. It ain't shit to get no paperwork started. You can do e-signs now, nigga. DocuSign, all type of shit. It ain't that hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, hit the boys up. Let them niggas know your plan and say, yo, look, you versus the Hung Bucks trios title. Shane Taylor's promotion beating the AEW, the former AEW tag team champion and the former AEW world heavyweight champion. And them beating them three guys put Shane Taylor promotion at the top of the fucking board.
I love it, but it's not gonna happen. They're not even signed, and you gotta build it. That's the reason why. That's the only reason. Because if they sign them today, then yeah, I can see it happening. But if they make a freaking surprise return or next week, I'm like, all right, bet, let's go.
Well, is you telling me Shane Taylor promotion, and you telling me with a week's time you still can't get hyped for a Shane Taylor promotion? For if they're, what do you need, a tournament?
I'm telling you that Shane Taylor Promotions is an ROH stable that does not ring bells as far as we might think it does. So you're going to have to establish them on TV for a couple weeks before the match for an inaugural championship. I do think that's
your way of thinking. I said, it's crazy that you said that when we just talked about Claudio Castagnoli, a nigga who was a cast off, and them niggas like, yeah, that's our fucking flag bearer.
Claudio Castagnoli was in WWE for years, yes. So he's been in front of eyes on a national screen for a long time. It's a big difference.
No, it's not. You didn't make that argument with me when I said when Jericho was the champion, when Moxley was the champion. Like, we wanted guys that just can move the needle, like who can carry. Like, we didn't think that Moxley and Jericho needed the title, right?
I think that's what you thought. I thought that made sense. I'd like to start a company out that makes sense to bring a established guy who has been a champion elsewhere on TV to say you're the flag bearer, going here. And I do think that people respect that rather than somebody changing the channel. Like, oh, there's new wrestling on. oh, who's this guy with the mask on, paint on? Oh, he's just a kid. Looks like a kid. Darby Allin, champion. I don't know who this guy is. Let me just skip the channel. Nah, they put it on somebody like John Moxley or Chris Jericho who says, oh, I remember watching this guy in the past. Now, to bring that to Shane Taylor Promotions, I think that they can be great in AEW. That's not to say that they're not talented. I have to say that do we have the time to build there as a stable?
How do you say that? How do you say that about them? And Kenny Omega was not even an American. Was the great like they're.
I think that by the time Kenny Omega had a championship, though, he had time on television though, in WWE. I mean AEW prior to becoming the world champion. Now he had good matches prior to that.
But I don't think that makes that makes no difference. It makes no difference. Wrestling is wrestling. You're talking about to a new fan base. Anything is new. You're a new television company, right? I'm sorry, not new. You're a new wrestling company. So like literally anything you do is new. So like that's what I'm trying to say to you. Like you're trying to tell me you talking about to like this is not to fringe fans. This is to like wrestling fans. This is to niggas who's buying the pay-per-view, going to the events, going to like you're talking to us. You're telling me that we need a build only a week out for Shane Taylor Promotion to come out, motherfucker. Let's say you return from Nigeria, and the very first thing you see coming back from Nigeria is Shane Taylor Promotion on AEW and said, yeah, see you September 4th. No build at all. Okay. See you September 4th. You're there.
Me personally, I'm there.
But everybody else is too.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they are. You know? I could be wrong, but
three big black niggas coming up on TV talking about
I would love it. Put it that way. I would love it. Put it that way. I would love it. But I'm just saying that I don't see it. I think they would have already gotten them a contract by now if they saw the value in Shane Taylor Promotions.
Why would they already have a contract if they didn't have the titles for them to do anything?
That's if anything, if they're gonna sign them right now, they're probably gonna debut at All Out. That would be cool, you know, and they have a match with somebody else, you know, so that's also an option. So if you're going to surprise us with Shane Taylor Promotions, then cool. I'm with that too.
Or Shane Taylor Promotions is the first challenger for the inaugural champion.
That's what I mean.
Like they not. I mean, like we talking about. Listen, nobody knew who Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, or fucking and Bobby Fish was in Brooklyn. But they did know, right? WWE in Brooklyn treated Adam Cole and Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly like niggas knew who they was, and they were a whole foot shorter than Drew McIntyre, my nigga.
But exactly, word up. But the fact that the crowd was popping, somebody who doesn't know, like, oh, they must be important, you know.
But
like
that's what I mean. You know? Shane Taylor, that's what I'm talking. That's what I mean. Like that's what that's what I mean. For like, we're not talking about what got to be built for TV or we talking about for, like you say, for us.
All right, for us. You want me to be real with you? You want me to be real with you?
Taylor Promotion is,
if you want me to be real with you, I don't want to get my hopes up. That's all it is. All what I'm saying is I don't want to get my hopes up and be like, yeah, Shane Taylor Promotions is going to debut at All Out, and then watch it be like, they don't show up for another year or some shit where I'm like, okay, I don't get it. Like, you know, I don't want to talk about them for the next, you know, month, like all the time, and
but
they're not on television.
Did that about Paul, about Raw, and about the trajectory. So, like, why can't you get yourself?
Because I actually am going to be invested if Shane Taylor Promotions, when they actually debut anywhere. You know, I've been talking about them since they were in ROH, so I'm a huge fan of that group. I don't want, when they actually show up somewhere, I just want to experience it because I don't know where it's going to go. Because I tweeted like they should have picked them up when ROH went down. I tweeted like AEW, pick them up quick. NXT, pick them up, because I want to see that group on television. I really do. But if I get all excited about a trios championship, inaugural championship with Shane Taylor Promotions, and they give me Young Bucks winning it against some other random tag team in Dark Order or some shit, I'm gonna be pissed. So like, I don't want to set myself up for failure. But I will see where things go, where they move forward, and I will be staying tuned. And we'll see what goes on with the trios championship. All in all, I think this is also setting up a return for Kenny Omega, which will be a good All Out. You know, it will be a good moment for All Out. So we'll see.
It will be a great moment for All Out. Yes. Yeah. Now, speaking of a great moment of All Out, the match that we will actually buy the pay-per-view for
Let's
Hobbs
go.
and Starks.
How could they break these guys up? Look at them with the fur coat, man. Look at them. How
Man,
could they
so much
break these guys
swag,
up?
man. So much fucking swag. I get it. I mean, I get it. I do get it though. Like it's
Listen,
it's the Vince McMahon model, man. If you got a tag team, you got 2 single stars.
oh my god. I do like. I mean, Hobbs is a main eventer. Like he's massive, heavyweight. He's a real fucking deal. But I think that this breakup, if you just milked it a little bit longer and maybe it happening at All Out or happening after All Out, I would have been more satisfied. Being that it's already happened, where does Starks go? Where does Hobbs go? Obviously, they're gonna have to collide before they go to separate ways. And I see the collision happening at All Out. Starks versus Hobbs at All Out. Who gets the victory?
Hobbs.
Hobbs, okay.
I need Hobbs and Wardlow.
Hobbs and Wardlow. I like that.
Because then we got Hobbs can take the title off of Wardlow. Wardlow can go on the bigger and better things because we already know Wardlow came in and said AEW Championship, need that. Okay, this fight, what I'm doing right now, is just filling time. Okay, it's filling time right now. CM Punk, I'm at your ass. That's exactly what Wardlow said.
I think we're still waiting for the Wardlow versus MJF match. That's when we've already had it, granted, but I think for a championship, that's gonna be ill. If Wardlow can win the championship on an MJF, that's gonna be huge for him and his storyline going forward. I do think that before that happens, MJF should have a long reign, which means that in the meantime, Wardlow can feud with Hobbs. But I'm not sure if we put the title on him right away. But at some point, Hobbs is TNT Championship worthy. But not only Hobbs, so is Starks. They both can hold that TNT Championship. Fuck the FTW Championship. I don't really. He says he put it on the map. I still don't care about that championship. Me personally, I don't care about the championship at all. But Taz just said he's done with his son Hook. He's done with Starks and Hobbs. Team Taz is dead. He said it on the microphone at AEW, and I was like, "Thank you, Taz. It's over with. Great." Now we get to see these guys flourish as singles acts. Hobbs, Starks, Hook, whatever. But for the most part, I see Starks being the guy who can really do some magic on that microphone. And with that microphone, that's going to keep you relevant. It's going to keep you on television. And he's going to be a huge baby face. So being that he's a huge baby face, if he gets a victory over Hobbs at All Out, he will be the one to take the title off of Wardlow one day.
Nah, this is how. I'm sorry not to cut you off. I was just drifting just to get to my point. My booking of Starks is that he's in WWE. That's just my booking of Starks. Starks. I'm sorry. Hold on. Enough niggas went from WWE to fucking AEW, correct?
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so I'm telling you, Starks' trajectory, Starks' money is Starks Mello. NXT Championship.
Ricky Starks, man. Ricky Starks in WWE, it will work. Just like we talk about MJF with WWE. But just like Tony Khan said on Dan Le Batard's show, people are signed in for contracts that he ain't letting them go. So at this point, they're on books in AEW. And there's only so many championships to go around, actually. There's a lot of championships to go around.
I mean, listen, man. I hear what you're saying.
Either way, both of these guys need some love. They need some gold, especially Hobbs.
That's what I'm saying. Like Ricky don't need the gold. And this goes back to you saying long-term booking. Wardlow said he don't want the interim championship. So Wardlow and Moxley's not happening. He doesn't want Moxley, he doesn't want the interim championship. He wants the real championship. So Wardlow has to wait until CM Punk gets back. I think that if Punk gets past Moxley and Punk and Wardlow's a match, I think CM Punk helps. I think MJF comes back and helps CM Punk. I think MJF comes back and helps CM Punk defeat Wardlow, and then that creates some type of triple threat or whatever situation of Punk, Wardlow, MJF. That keeps that fucking title going. I think that's how that happens. That undercard title, that AEW TNT Championship, I think,
Starks, Hobbs.
well, I would say this. Starks and Hobbs for that championship don't matter as much unless Hobbs cherishes that championship. If his thing was Starks kept him down, Starks didn't allow him to touch gold. Starks was the one who had a championship. Starks was the one who, like, if Hobbs' whole thing was that this championship is what makes me money, what brings me to all that type of, that's when Starks comes and goes for the title. I don't want them just feuding over the title just because it's a title they got. No. It got to be bigger than that. Hobbs got to be really mad that for the past 6 months, he been with this little motherfucker and I ain't touched tag team gold yet.
Look at the Most High Chris talking about the build to a match and that actually mattering, huh?
Not necessarily a build to a match, but I'm just, you telling me like, give me. But you're also telling me like, just give me Starks and Hobbs for the team. I'm saying that like, I like
what you did. You know, honestly, I like what you set up. And you're saying, comparing it to the whole Drew conversation earlier.
But what I'm saying too is that like, you telling me I was giving somebody an excuse. It matters now that fans get to ooh and ah at a moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it matters when the build gets to have a build type of thing. Like, listen, Bianca and Bayley feud was not the best. I know we've given a lot of props to it, but that was not the best utilization of them, but it was the best utilization of them, and they made the most of it. It wasn't the same as Drew.
You mean during the pandemic?
Yes, Bobby and Drew and Bianca and Bayley, I looked at them as the same. Two high-profile feuds that didn't have the ability to go off of the adrenaline, the feedback, the callbacks, of like the fans really kind of helped. And so I do think that I am not going to but you're talking about the build up to a feud. The build up to the feud is here, right? This is the build up to the feud. Turned on that nigga. Build up. Feud.
No. But then you gave me more. Then you gave me the whole, like, he gets a championship. You know, he said, "Listen, you held me down," and that's the kind of stuff that I fucking live for. When we talk about storytelling, I'm down with you. I'm with you on that. So when we talk about those builds, that's what gets me to a match and say, okay, the match is a B plus or a B to a A plus when you have the build going into it.
Now, I do want to ask you this. If they don't say nothing else about this story, bro, the match that they give us for a month. Now, I know they are, though, because they got a month. They got a month to fill it. But if they just give you Starks and Hobbs off the turn with no story, I get you, but I don't get you because the talent of what gets us there is going to get us there. You see what I'm saying? Like,
it's too much history with these two guys to not get them on the mic. I'm personally, but here's what I say that with a lot of guys, even Roman and Drew, they get them on the mic to tell us, okay, why this match is bigger than the last one. However, I this one, especially with the history of these two being a group and tag, team tags and all that stuff for well over a year plus, I think you can get these two on the mic, and I can't wait to hear what Hobbs has to say about why he turned, because we still haven't got an explanation. So I'm waiting for that day. They obviously brawled this week. Hobbs laid him out again. And I think that this is one of those things where they should be given some time more than anything at All Out to tell their story. And I can't wait.
Absolutely. And I think, like you say, as far as booking Black goes, I do think that Hobbs, I know what you're saying. Like, you give us a month, where I think Starks kind of has to get an up on Hobbs within the next 3 weeks, right? And the next 3 weeks leading up to All Out, Starks got to get an upper hand, where it's not just going to be a complete beatdown, or does Starks stand a chance at All Out? He's been getting his ass whipped for a month, Like, I do think that it has to be something competitive, but I do think after a competitive match, Hobbs lay that nigga down, spine bushes, stands over there looking as, and I think Hobbs, Wardlow, Meat Factory, my God. And after Hobbs win that TNT championship, I think that opens the door for, like you say, for him to knock down niggas like Dante Martin, Darby Allin. Like I think the styles make fights in those type of situations where now then if Starks do happen to get the title off of Hobbs, now we got another styles where you got Starks and Lee Moriarty, and you got Starks versus fucking Daniel Garcia, and you got Starks for, so we got different ways that we can
At some
go.
point over the next year, I need a championship on Starks. Put it that way. And not the FTW championship, like a legitimate TNT championship, something that he can carry around and say, you know what, I'm gonna go out here and outwork everybody, and then I give him opportunity to talk his shit.
You
'Cause
say
that's what he does
outwork
best.
everybody. You say you like a workers' championship. You mean like the Intercontinental Championship or something like that? Maybe, possibly. No. Oh, okay.
Hey, maybe if
I'm
that
just
happens, I'm all
just
for it.
asking. I'm just asking.
I'm all
Yeah.
for it. Who's
Uh,
Intercontinental champion right now?
hey, Gunther, man, nigga,
Gunther.
don't act like you don't know. What the fuck wrong with you? I'm gonna have him come slap the skin off your chest, nigga. Yo, Gunther, right now, this nigga didn't know who you was, bruh. Show that nigga who
No,
you
they
is.
not. Listen, I know who Gunther is. Don't come for me, man. I'm good. I'm good. I remember the Walter, Gunther, whatever you want to call yourself. I'm good. But what I will say is that he does need somebody else to cut their chest off. He does need a legitimate competition, and hopefully we get to see on SmackDown tomorrow and see if he gets somebody to like live up to, stand up to him. So he doesn't have to keep on chopping off Ludwig's chest every week.
Hold on, Ludwig gotta understand, nigga, failure is not an option. Okay.
I think he gets it.
No, he can't keep getting it if he keep failing, motherfucker. Like that's how he get his shit chopped off. You keep failing, nigga.
Every week, damn son.
Hold
Man.
on, listen, man. Listen. If you ain't perfect, it ain't perfect. And Gunther wants it perfect.
It's an abusive relationship, man. Listen, Ludwig, I feel your pain. Listen, you should get some counseling. That's an abusive relationship.
If you want to not again. You telling problems about me? Man. But, anything else you got to cover on the show, man?
Listen,
let me check our
shout out to Thunder Rosa and Thunderstorm. They had a good match on AEW.
Why the fuck are they always in a tag team with the AEW Championship, Women's Championship, bro? Like, what's going on with that shit? And hold on, another thing I gotta talk about before we got Excalibur. You gotta tell Tony Khan, bitch, I can't keep talking this fucking fast. Okay, all this motherfucker and on Tuesday and Friday on Dynamite.
I think that's his gimmick. That's why they get him there. He's a utility player who knows how to do that shit. Because we're gonna throw those images up regardless of whether you're ready or not. That shit's coming up.
Hold on. Niggas thought Michael Cole had the easiest fucking job in the world, nigga. To plug some shit, nigga. This nigga Excalibur is an outlet. You talk about plug, nigga. Like he plugging all types of shit, brother.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Excalibur. I mean, that shit ain't easy, man. Other than that,
it shouldn't be that hard. That's what I'm trying to say.
No, they throw because you got a certain amount of time to throw that shit up there, and you got to say and tell them what the fuck you're looking at over and over again before we get to the next match.
I can't understand it. You gotta slow it down. This nigga is. I'm listening to.
You can't understand it. You're looking at it too.
Nigga, I'm listening to this nigga in podcast 2.5 speed, nigga. This nigga is on AEW Dynamite. We got. I'm like, bruh, the fucking graphics don't go as fast as your fucking mouth, nigga. What's going on, man?
What we got tomorrow? What's going on at SmackDown before I head out to Nigeria?
Bro, I have no idea. Actually, this will be the first SmackDown of the new era, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken,
it will be.
Yeah. So, Outside of that,
I think we're good
we
to
got.
go. I think I do want to
We
say
got
that
a.
Bailey. Listen, I'm gonna give another shout out to Raw because Bianca, Becky, Edge, every promo felt like it mattered. Every promo was good, and it felt like
Wow.
was
Here we go
purposeful.
again.
So I want to give them their props for the talent going out there and giving the freedom to do what they got to do. It gave me. It didn't feel like I had to walk away from the television screen at any point. But other than that, I'm curious to see if the SmackDown tomorrow gives me that same vibe, that same feel and purpose, and we'll see going forward. If you want to find out what we think about that, please tune into our Patreon. It's only $5 a month. We're going to be talking, the big events on there, as well as SmackDowns and all that stuff. But we'll be back. Actually, we won't be back next week. We'll be back on.
When do you leave for Nigeria?
I'll leave on Saturday. I'll be back on the 26th. So our next show is on the 27th. And then we have another show on the
Saturday?
1st.
This Saturday?
Yeah. These in 2 days. And then the 27th, I'll be back.
This nigga leave in 2 days, brother. What the fuck? And you froze on camera too. Just want to let you know.
You froze too. It's the
Really?
connection. Yeah, it's a connection.
Okay. Damn, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, so it's 27th and the 1st are our next shows.
All right. Before we do get out of here, let me throw the solo on here. Can you see this? Hold on. Uh-oh. Come on. We got a show in the stream, brother. All right. We got Black Girl Magic, August 19th, right? We want to let you guys know that we have been a sponsor to that show. All right. With that being said, we have been granted 2 general admission tickets. We have been granted a signed event poster and a Black Girl Magic t-shirt. All right. Unfortunately, like Chidi just said, we will not be able to make that event, so we won't be there. So what we would like to do is auction off those tickets. You know what I'm saying? We will want to give those tickets away to people who want to go to the event. Maybe you didn't know that you can get it, or the time freed up for you, whatever the case may be, man. We got 2 tickets. We're gonna talk to the event runners and see if we can have those available for you at will call. But we want you to put yourself in a raffle to get these tickets, and the only thing you gotta do is follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram, and subscribe to us on YouTube. If you do those 3 things, we will be picking and drawing and getting your name available so you can attend this dope.
And leave a comment that you're interested in it too. That will help, just so we know that you can make the event. So comment as well, whether it be a DM or whether it be a comment on YouTube. Please and support, independent wrestling and Black Girl Magic, Black women wrestlers living out their dream and continuing to put on a great show. Trisha Dora will be main eventing. So it should be good against Karen Bam Bam. So I can't wait to see what that comes out. There's a triple threat with Ariel Fox, Scarlett, and Anastasia Morningstar. The tag team match with Thick and Juicy 2.0 and Estrella and Maserati.
Ain't that Willow Nightingale
2.0. Willow Nightingale, yeah. And then there's a Pure Rules match between Jordan Blade and Bonesaw Brooks. Listen, looks like it's going to be a great event. You guys need to check it out. And if you want to just check it out and have a good night and have a free ticket, please do join the raffle as well. Like you said, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, RW Podcast 1, and subscribe to our YouTube and leave a comment just that you're interested in the ticket, and we'll add you to the raffle, please.
Actually, let's do this. Hashtag BGM. Shout out to Wale.
Hashtag BGM.
Hashtag BGM. That means we know you interested, man. So, hashtag BGM on the social media sites that he told you to follow or we told you to follow, and then we'll get you there, man. Thank you guys for supporting us as always. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
Anything else, brother? Yeah, I think that's it. We had to get that commercial.
Yeah, man. We'll be back by the end of the month. You guys, I love y'all. All is love. Everything is wrestling. Thank you for subscribers. Thank you to the Patreon members. Thank you to all that support. And we'll see y'all in 3 weeks.
Peace.
Deuces.